So I came to Chichester Dam thinking I'm just going to see the dam, but then I realised you can actually go in the dam. Pretty cool. Just so cool. The water's moving so fast. There's just a whole fence of shoes. Look at that. Bloody good slop there. We may be slightly stuck. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. In this video, you'll notice I am not in the shed. I'm actually outside, which is awesome. So I got a couple of days off work and I've come out to Chichester State Forest, Chichester State Forest, however you want to call it. And right now I'm standing on part of the wall of Chichester Dam and it is freaking awesome. It looks amazing. Even though the weather's not great, it is still so cool. Like you can see all the way out there, it's just so nice. And then just behind me there is the actual drop off and that looks absolutely sick. So in this video, I'm going to do a bit of cooking, bit of camping, full driving, just a lot, mainly exploring as well, and just going to see how it goes. So cheers, stay tuned. As I expected, with all this rain on and off basically for the last couple of days, it is only just set to get worse, unfortunately. But you can see the car's already bloody covered and I literally haven't even started doing any tracks yet and it's just pure slop basically. So I'm just going to drop the tyres down now because I'm not going back on the road. So probably go down to about 25 psi right now, and then if I do need to go down further when I'm doing some other tracks, I'll probably just drop them down again. But for now, 25 psi is good because especially on the unsealed roads as well, well, these ones are quite rocky, you can't go that fast on them anyways. It is kind of getting a little bit bumpy, so I'll drop it down. It should be sweet. Probably pretty hard to tell on camera because it always is, but that's actually pretty rutted out down there and I don't have the biggest tyres, so let's see how it goes. For the sake of traction, I think I'll let my tyres down a little bit more because I could feel myself spinning halfway up that hill, which didn't feel too good. So might go down to 20. This one is seriously steep. I know I said the other one's last steep, but this is definitely the steepest, and I'm not gonna lie, slightly nervous, but I think this is a seatbelt job. I'm gonna go first gear and just try and crawl up it because I don't want to break anything because we're only on the first day.
So this is where things start to get interesting. This was enjoyable, this bit, because I had my first attempt, as you can see here, and it didn't really go as planned. I just didn't have enough speed getting up there. This is also the steepest part of the hill, and where I really start fighting for traction, because it is just so sloppy, and there's just this little hump at the top that I just can't get traction to get over, so I thought I'd go for a second attempt. But what you'll start to see is that I actually have my foot on the brake, and I start sliding backwards. So this is where I was putting in my position where I was like, oh shit, I just got to try and control it and get down to the bottom of the hill, and I'll go for another attempt and we'll see what happens.
Let's go all the way back down and do this again.
Looking back on the footage, I probably would have had a better chance of getting up it in second gear low instead of first gear, but you'll see in a second what happened when I ended up going for my third attempt.
So that might have happened. You know, just trying to make my own track. That's the track. This is what I slipped into when I tried to reverse. So instead of braking something, going to pull out the winch, put it on one of those trees just up there, and try and winch my way up. I think is the best bet. Now, before anybody says it, I know you're not supposed to winch from dead trees, but I literally don't have any other point. That tree over there is on a bad angle and isn't really going to help me. And the one that I want to winch to, my extension strap is just too short, like literally a meter. So what I'm going to do is just try and get myself out, and then I'll connect up to the tree at the top, and then we'll go all the way.
Once the winch got me out of this little pickle here, I just started sliding towards that tree, so I thought that instead of winching, I'll just try and drive it and see what happens. I decided at this point just to get the max tracks out, and I thought I'd just put some on the back wheels in hope they would push me away from that tree, and I'll just assist it with the winch as well just to get out. I ended up using the max tracks a couple of times here just to get up this little bit so that I could get enough winch rope to relocate to the tree that I actually wanted to winch from in the first place. So this was the point when I found out that my winch was playing up. Basically what had happened, which I'll go into detail in a clip later, but when I was pressing the button to go in or out, it was only winching in maybe 1 meter and winching out maybe 1 meter, and it wouldn't go any further than that. So me being me and not wanting to be defeated on the first day, I thought stuff it, I'll just get out the max tracks and go the rest of the way up the hill using that. So after numerous attempts with the max tracks, I finally got out in the end, and I definitely wasn't stopping to go and get the camera on this hill. I was just going straight to the top and I just walked back.
So I finally got up that hill. I On camera, that probably didn't look that long. That took me 1 hour because my winch stopped working. So that's something I have to fix. So I'm tired, I want to go have a swim, and I know you guys probably want to see me do that track, but Nav just ain't doing it. I'm telling you now, after that hill, it's not happening. So unfortunately, I'm going to take Chicken Track, but I'm going to head over to Currawong Campground, so the one after the Telligiri River Campground, just because that's more of the full driving one, so hopefully it's a little bit quieter. But even though it's a weekday, it should be fine. But I'm going to head up there. I'm really tired and I kind of want to go for a swim, so I'm covered in shit. So yeah, we're on. So I was just on my way to the Currawong campsite and came across this. So if you didn't know, Chichester, I think, used to or still is a place for logging, basically, cutting down trees and stuff. And this is one of the old machines here. And there's something there. These look like a pulley. And then that one's another machine there. I'm sure somebody on Facebook Marketplace reckons this is worth $5 grand. But it is really cool to see. And I think there's heaps of these scattered everywhere around here. Looks awesome. It's absolutely massive. It's just in the middle of just this little opening. It's so cool. Look at the size of those bloody head studs. They're huge. The piston bore's massive as well. Good old 6-cylinder diesel. This thing's awesome. It's really decaying though. Really rusting away. Alright, so let's keep on heading to Currawong Campground. And now we're at, I think it's Telligiri Campground. That's the Telligiri River right there. And across from that is Currawong Campground. So I want to camp at Currawong just because it's a full drive spot and it's cool. But you can camp along here as well. But I just need to see how deep this water is because it is flowing pretty quickly and I don't want to get in the water. So we're gonna see how bad this is. I might have to walk it first and then we'll go from there. It's definitely a lot deeper. That deepest spot's about knee deep. This is really rocky. So now that camp's set up, which is awesome. I'm gonna go have a dip, might as well. I mean, I really need to wash off, I'm quite dirty from bloody all that recovery today. Probably was more outside the car than inside the car, but whatever. And then I might get on to fixing the winch, and I think a CV boot might have split, because I can feel the grease around, like some of the grease around the boot. But definitely have to check that out a bit more, because I don't want to actually be stuck again and then have that go and then I'm really stuck for a long time in the rain, because it's probably raining tomorrow. So I'm gonna go have a dip and that'll just relax me a little bit and it should be really nice. Oh, it's so cold. I swear it's colder than when I got in it before. Good morning guys, it's day 2 here at Chichester State Forest and I packed up the whole setup, but I still have to fix the winch. So I'll just quickly show you what happened. Hopefully you can see down in there. Basically, if I put the winch on free spool, I can't pull it out any more than that, because there's actually, when I winched in before, there must have been a bit of the rope that got tangled up and then it overlapped it when I kept winching it in. So what happens now, if I pull this on free spool, it's stuck in. If I go to winch out, it pulls it back in, and then if I go to winch in, it pulls it back out and then pulls it back in again. I did re-spool it before I came here, obviously, because that's what you're supposed to do when you get the winch. I pulled it out all the way, left one roll in the barrel, and then under tension I pulled it back in. But obviously that hasn't worked, and that was literally my first time using the winch yesterday. So that's kind of shit. But I'm going to try and attach it to that big tree behind me and just see if I can just use the car's weight and the in and out function just to see if it loosens it a little bit. But if not, I think we're just going to have to take some easier tracks today. If I see something that I know I'll need to winch, I just got to back out, play it smart. And apart from that, we're still going to have a beautiful day because there's so many other things to see. And then halfway through today, I think probably just after lunchtime, I'm going to head to the other side of the Chichester State Forest, which is the Allen River side. And then tonight's camp should be pretty cool because I want to camp on Mount Allen. So let's get into fixing this winch.
So all I'm doing here is using the weight of the car to pull the rope in and out in the hope that it would untangle itself, which thankfully it did. And you'll see later in the clip when I do go to free spool it, I'm able to pull it out by hand. It makes like a clicking noise, and then I'm able to run the rope all the way out, and then I'll roll it back in under tension.
So surprisingly, that actually worked somehow, which is awesome. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take everything off the winch rope except for one round the barrel, and I'm just going to pre-tension the winch again. So I did think I was just going to be able to take the short way up through Currawong campground and go to the Frying Pan Road, but unfortunately this is what I came across. Road closed, walkers only. So unfortunately that means I have to cross the river again, and it's been raining even more than before, and I'm gonna get wet. And yeah, so let's head back down that way. So I just went down a little side track because I thought why not, got a bit of time, and it came down to this super nice little river here. I can't remember the name of it. It is just really nice, and even after the rain, the water is still like crystal clear, and it just steps down all the way from the top. There is a crossing through it, but that does go the wrong way. I'm gonna start, instead of going up, because that gate was locked through Currawong, I'm just gonna go back down. I'm gonna go to the Black Knob Lookout. Don't know why they named it that, but I guess I'll find out. And then after that, I'm just gonna make my way all the way up Frying Pan Creek and all the way through there. And then I think there's a lookout all the way at the top. I have to check my maps again. And then after that, I'll head over to the other side of Chichester. So unfortunately, we've hit another little hurdle. So I was heading along Skimmings Gap Road just to come in between. So I went out of Currawong, through Telligiri, through Skimmings Gap Road to go into Frying Pan Road, right? So if you look at the map here, this is closed because the bridge collapsed. So it says unsafe for vehicle access, and this is the other way to go. Now I actually camped here, and you can't get through here because that is closed. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna have to do, because there's a gate there and it's closed off, is that I'm gonna have to come down here and then go round and up. If I can't do that and that doesn't work out, I'm just gonna head to the other Chichester State Forest, because it's not really a point running around to go look at a couple lookouts when all the roads are closed. So unfortunately, yet again, I've found myself at another road closure because of the rain, which sucks. So what I'm going to try and do, there's actually a gap road where I came from, probably like 5 k's down the road. I'm going to try and take that road and then take it up, because somebody's obviously driven up this but it does say road closed and it's just not worth it being by myself. So I'm going to try and go the other way and hopefully you can get to Ladies Well. So there's a sign back there that said there's 4 river crossings. The 4th one will be the deepest, which is the last one for me. And looking here, it's not too bad, but I really want to see how that 4th one goes. Definitely not that deep. I think I'm just going to take it slow, and if I'm not comfortable, I think I'm just going to have to come back and find another way to get in. So not only do we have the cows guarding the road, we actually have this huge lineup of shoes, I guess you could say, like literally everywhere. It goes all the way down there and all the way down there. So I don't really know what it means. I actually saw it in a Tyler Thompson video, and I didn't know where it was, and I just happened to be on this road, and there we have it. So it looks sick. Don't really know why it's here. It says Boot Hill, home of 100 lost souls. So I think people maybe they've passed on, have left something here for them or something like that. I'm not too sure, but it's just, you don't see something like that ever. Even if you look in this tree, the shoes just all up the whole tree. That's something pretty cool to see. And we finally made it to the other side of Chichester State Forest after a long drive because I had to go all the way around. But you can see there, Ladies Well is down there, and then Mount Allen Lookout, which is the one that I'm going to be going to later. The Savo is all the way up there. There were some massive ruts in some tracks over the side there, which I'm definitely not going in, like for 37-inch tyres. But I am going to see what's around here and see what I can do and just have a bit of fun and stuff like that. For now, I might just check out Ladies Well and have some lunch, and then after that I'll figure out where I'm going to go. So hopefully you can hear me over the current, but just made it down to Ladies Well. It's really beautiful here. You've got all the water coming down, and then you've got a little waterfall there, and obviously you can probably swim in. There's a bit just over there you can probably swim in, but unfortunately because of the rain, the water's looking a bit worse for wear. But if this was like a crystal clear week and there was no rain, the water would just be absolutely amazing to swim in, but unfortunately not for today. So I'm probably just gonna have some lunch, make some sandwiches, and then figure out what else I'm gonna do. So while I'm out here, I do try and go on some tracks that are not the main road, because that's the whole point of exploring. And often than not, if you see me not filming them, is because that's what happens. That tree is literally just all over the road. People have tried to cut it a couple times, it seems, but nobody's been able to successfully get to it. So there it is, massive tree. No going any further, unfortunately. So now I've just got to turn around, drive half an hour back. And this track was pretty overgrown, so I figured that it probably was going to end. But you know, you never know. That's how you get to those cool spots. So I'm going to keep going up the mountain. Well, I'll go back from this track first, and then I'll keep going out Mount Allen and see where it takes us. So probably about halfway through Mount Allen, or a third of the way, there's this really big like open area. It's like they mined something here or something. I couldn't help myself but doing a little bit of a flex on the nav. It hasn't got a lot of flex, but it's nearly tucking that 32-inch. So just a bit of mucking around on the way up. There's some serious hills here. Like, don't know if the camera will show it, but like that one there is massive. And people have been up it. There's one here that's pretty gnarly as well. The ruts on them are like 35-inch plus. There's no way, I'm just gonna bottom out, so it's just not worth it at all. I might get a good photo up there though, just because I can. So literally no point to this, just for wank factor, so might as well. Alright, so I've made it to Mount Allen, and as you can see, I can't, because we're in the clouds. So, because it's a bad day, not the best of weather, you can't really see the view. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like some nice trees and stuff and whatnot, but It's actually pretty cool. It's pretty surreal. Like, you can't hear anything up here. There is actually a gated off section just over there. I might try and walk it because I kind of do want to get to the top, but unfortunately you can't drive it, which kind of sucks, but there's probably a reason for that. Other than that, the drive up here was actually pretty fun. A lot of bumpy bits, a lot of little rocks and stuff. That being wet, there was a lot of mud and it was really slippery. But I reckon during the dry you could probably get away with two-wheel drive, but during the wet definitely need four-wheel drive. And you can see the ute copped it, but that's what I do all the mods for. So yeah, it's really nice up here actually. I wish I could see the view, but you know, what can you do? I might try and walk up to the top there and see what else there is. Other than that, there's actually a camp spot just down from here. So I might just camp up here tonight. It doesn't seem too bad. I thought it was going to be a lot windier, to be honest, but seems alright. So we'll probably camp up here, get to cooking and go to bed and get up tomorrow and do some more tracks. Just walking up to the top now, not much further. So I just walked all the way to the top. Big ass tower, that's why I can't drive up here, doing some works or whatnot. And the view is same as before. It would have been lovely, but it's just super white because we're in the clouds. So that is literally all I can see. It's just clouds, but it's still pretty cool. So pretty happy I made it. And the air up here is just so fresh. It is a little bit cold now, but it's just so nice up here. Should be a good night. Good morning guys, it's day 3 here at Chichester State Forest, and unfortunately the weather's about to take a really big turn for the worse. So I'm basically going to explain what's going to happen while I'm driving. But you can see I've packed up camp and we're going to be on our way home. Unfortunately, I'm actually not going to hit any tracks today, so that kind of sucks, but what can you do? It's about 7 o'clock and probably in about an hour it's going to start getting really bad. And unfortunately, I tried to wake up for the sunset just to see if there was any view, and there's not. But still pretty cool to be up here. It's a little bit cold, but that's all good. So yeah, the ute's all packed up, everything's packed up. I'm just going to head back down the mountain and I'll explain why I'm actually going home. Okay, so I thought I probably should explain why I'm heading home and why I'm not doing more full drive tracks. So basically what's happened is there's going to be basically a torrential storm and I need to cross those 4 rivers that I came in on to get home. And the first one that I need to cross is the deepest one, and if you can't cross that river, you're kind of stuck here, because the other thing is that other side that I tried to come in on the first time, the road was closed. So that means that I'm not able to go either way if the rivers rise. That's why I kind of have to get out now. So as much as it sucks, my heart's telling me to do some more tracks here, because I've seen so many tracks off the side of Mount Allen that I'm going down now. But at the end of the day, my head's telling me to be smart, and I am by myself, so I am going to head home. Unfortunately, the storm's supposed to set in at around 8 to 9 o'clock. It's currently 7:45, and yeah, it's already not looking too good. Everything's really wet. It rained heaps overnight, so I think I should be right to cross those rivers now, but if it gets any later, I think it's going to start becoming a bit of a problem. So I'm just not willing to take that risk. Some people might, but I just honestly don't think it's worth it. So unfortunately I'm going to have to head home, which sucks, but you know, what can you do? I think definitely I'm going to come here again when it's not raining, if I have time off, and do this all again, because I reckon it would be a lot more fun to see things that are not covered in clouds, or when the roads aren't closed, because I think about 2 or 3 of the roads are closed, unfortunately, and that rules out a lot of the spots, especially like on this side. I can't even go to Barrington House either, because that road was closed to go there. Yeah, so what can you do? That's it. I'll see you guys when I hopefully cross that first river, or when I get to it. Had our first casualty of the trip, a spotlight. It really didn't like those potholes, and it's just bloody fallen out of its mount, so I've just put it in the back there. Lucky I didn't lose it. And then this is what I was talking about. These tracks are bloody huge. There's tracks all along, not as serious as this, that I could have gone on, but whatever. The rain's really starting to pick up now, so I'm probably just gonna head along and go back along Allen River Road. Alright, so I made the river crossings, which is awesome. That first crossing, which I said was the deepest one, there are actually a couple other cars out there checking it out with me, and it seems to be that that depth is pretty safe to cross, but the ranger said to them that if it gets basically higher than that, then it starts to get a bit unsafe. And in terms of the other road, he said it is closed, but if they do close off Allen River Road, then you can go to the other road, which I didn't know, but anyways. He did say it was pretty sketchy though, so by yourself probably not the best idea. But we made it out, and I still had heaps of fun. I'm just on the side of the road here. I'm about to head back to Dungog, and then I'll make my way home. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tried to keep it a bit interesting. Sorry I couldn't do as much forward driving as I wanted to do, but at the end of the day, I'd rather be safe and not be stuck there basically, because I need to get home today. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe. Cheers.